Merry Christmas to one and all. It's Pavia Ross and Pavia Paul. Yes, welcome back to this year's Dev Update and the last one of 2023. Joined with me today is the one and only Paul. Paul, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you. How are you?
It has been a fantastic year. 2023 has flown by. Lots to run through today, lots to get through. So let's get cracking. Just going to go through our achievements of 2023 because it has been a big year. Kicking us off, District 3 seems like forever ago. 8 months ago now, we showcased District 3 in the plaza.
Yeah. I can't actually believe that was this year because it seems like a long time ago. But yeah, tail end of last year, we obviously did the plaza event this time last year, actually, which was amazing. You know, hundreds of people in. It was fantastic. And we had Tokyo and Cyberpunk on display there. You could run around Cyberpunk, which was cool. And then coming into the new year, we continued with the plaza development. And then we have this beautiful open park district, which we're so happy with. So we built out 3 of the main sort of 8 sections of the plaza right now, and it's looking good.
Yeah, the park's very different to the other 2. And, you know, as we build out the map in the plaza as well, I think it's going to be super nice seeing the plaza be so diverse, isn't it? Seeing all these different sections come together.
Yeah, and what's lovely is no one's had a chance to walk around any of this stuff yet, except for us.
Lots to see.
So it's lovely.
And then shortly after that, we had the launch pad reveal, another part of the map that's been built out. Huge spaceship. I'm not sure what our lead designer calls it, but it's absolutely huge when you actually see it up close, isn't it? It's massive.
Yeah, exactly. So a lot of people keen to know what was on the launch pad when they look at the map. Oh, I've got a plot near the launch pad. What's it all about? So we're able to construct a lot of that and build some of that out and show the early versions of that as well. So that kept everybody happy, and we got some cool ideas and some cool plans for that whole region of the map.
Lots planned for that area, so stay tuned for that. On to our next topic, and arguably the biggest one of 2023 as well, is the playground release, which has been just a snowball of features and new updates across, you know, the entirety of the back end of this year. Yeah. Tell the people, firstly, why you decided to run with the playground and why you decided to make it public.
The reason for it really was... we have internal development environments, obviously, where all the magic is going on. And there was this sort of realization that, you know, the community is incredibly patient. And wouldn't it be a lot better if they could just see more of what we're doing? In fact, not just see it in the form of a video or a tweet, but actually get it and jump in it. Yeah. So we strategically made the decision to sort of build in public, full blown in public. And so we tightened up a few things. It forced us to get our act together in terms of patching and so on and so forth. And we decided to put our development environment, which we lovingly called the playground, live. And it's been live ever since. And we're just continually patching it, improving it. And it means the community get to go in whenever they want, hang out in there, provide us feedback, report bugs, come up with cool ideas, and walk around this sort of 100 plot version of 100,000 plot Pavia, basically.
Yeah. And it has proved over the past couple of months super handy getting people's feedback, isn't it? Because you never want to launch something this big without having people test it first, right? And the community have given us incredible feedback across the past couple of months.
Yeah, you know, we're a small team, and so the community are almost like our extended team in many ways, because they're the people that come in and go, have you thought about this? Or I tried this, or this is glitching, or it would be better if we had this, or chat's great, but it might be better if it worked like that. And even for us, actually, you know, playtesting is actually quite hard, but when you have a community, it becomes a hell of a lot easier. And when you're building in public all the time, because they just come in, join, and you can go, oh, so this is what it's like when you got 20 people. This is what it's like when you got 40 people. You know, you can see some of the challenges as you go through. So that's been massive. And what might not be obvious to the community, but there's some big technological milestones hit within that playground. So as you go into it, all of the content on the plots is coming from the cloud. Yeah. And now, actually, where we are now is all of the content is not just coming from the cloud, but it's coming directly out of the builder format. Wow. So yes, there's PCAs there that have been built, you know, handcrafted in Blender or whatever but the mechanism for pulling them in is from the builder, which will come onto the builder. But that's really important because if someone builds something in the builder today, all right, us on the back end, but we could literally pick it up and go put it on plot 5
Yeah.
within seconds, no problem at all, and that will all work. So all of that stuff's coming from the cloud, which is amazing. We have proximity voice working, which is fantastic, and global chat. We have one-on-one voice chat, phone calls, and text chat.
Yeah.
And we have group chat and text chat. And some of that stuff hasn't been utilized too much because, you need more people in there to do it. But all of that voice stuff works. Obviously, multiplayer all works. We had an event last night and we had people from New Zealand, Malaysia, West Coast America, Europe, Germany, UK, everywhere, all in at the same time with no real poor lag that ruined the experience. So all of this stuff is great testing. And then right now we are working on, so we continue to release, some of the stuff's very visible and you'll see it. Some of the stuff is less visible, like what's going on with the procedural data, which we'll talk about later, that drives the map. So yeah, Playground was a big thing, and it continues to be a big thing.
Yeah. It's a brilliant tool for us to get so much feedback, and just going through some of the things that we've added this year, like Paul said, voice and communication, importing GLBs and builder tool content into the Playground.
Yep.
Multiplayer, the camera, the field of view, the time of day, ragdolling, all these things have been added because
Ragdoll, I forgot about
people
that.
want to see them, and you guys want them, and we put them in, right?
Yeah, like camera control is a classic one. I'm glad you brought it up. If you're someone who wants to record content inside the metaverse, you need control over the camera.
Yeah.
Field of view, all that kind of stuff that sometimes you just wouldn't get in the game. Some you do, some you don't. But we've built all that in now, and it's used a lot for people who go in there. So yeah, the Playground's been fantastic, and the decision to build in public has been massively beneficial for the project, I would say. So we continue to do that.
It's amazing learning how to cater for so many different people and so many different players, isn't it? It's definitely been a learning curve, and that moves us on to something that we released in relation to the Playground, and that's Pavia Studio. Our incredible builder tool that basically went through a whole new revamp. When we first released it, it was it was a little bit buggy, the UI wasn't looking nice, and now it's got smart objects, procedural generation, this massive asset library, and so much more. Talk to the people a little bit about that.
Yeah, so the builder tool has been pretty much rebuilt from the ground up with not a whole new strategy, but some definitely new strategy around some of the tech and the approaches for sure. The first builder tool we pushed out early, deliberately, to get feedback, and again, I'm so glad we did that because again, build in public, get it out there. We knew it was all right, it did the job. But the most beneficial thing about that is we got the feedback, and the feedback is what actually drove us towards, okay, right, we need to make some of this stuff easier. We need to make it more flexible. But it also opened our mind that, we were already working quite a lot in procedural generation. We should do this for actual plot mechanics, and how to build on your plot. So Pavia Studio has finally is released now, and honestly, it's probably one of the biggest achievements of the year.
It's beautiful.
It's one of the things that I'm most excited about. Yes, obviously, these things can be made a little bit easier and improved over time, and we continue to do so. But the most important thing about it is we've seen it be in the hands of people for 30 minutes, and they're pushing content straight back, and it's looking really, really good. And this is just like getting off the ground. We've just released a tutorial. Thank you to you for putting all that together as well. That's amazing. So we have I think it's 12, 14-minute tutorial on YouTube now. Go and watch that and you'll be away. And all of this stuff is live, you can go and download it now. But the builder, people, if you look at games like Sims and stuff like that, a lot of people will say, yeah, I like the Sims, but I never actually play it. I just build. I love building. Building's great fun. And the Sims obviously do it in a different way to what we do, but you can learn a lot from that. The fact that the creation process is an enormous amount of fun. But the creation process in Blender, if it's the first time you've ever done 3D, it's probably not a lot of fun, unless you're really serious about getting good at it. But just to have a product in your hand like Pavia Studio, where you can go, right, within 30 minutes, I'm building 3D metaverse ready content that's interactable, and I can walk around with players and put it in a multiplayer environment is amazing.
It's crazy.
And the ease of use, thanks to the procedural generation techniques we've used, that's the bit we're most happy with. And we've got more stuff coming. We've got roofs on the way, and we could work on this all day, every day, to be honest with you. It's a passion project.
The builder tool really, in relation to the Playground, are just amazing ways to get feedback from the community to help build a product, to make sure that we're on track, that we're going in the right direction. And like you said, it's come so far, and we're now starting to see people get better at it, start pushing content that we didn't think people were able to even make, you know, and use techniques that we didn't even think were possible.
Yeah.
And you touched briefly on the fact that we've got roofs and also importing GLBs. How likely is an update for that? Will we see something like that before 2024, do you think?
Maybe, yeah. So the two new big features we want to push on the Builder tool, killer features. One is roofs, because roofs are hard to do, and but they're going to be incredibly easy soon. And that's all procedurally generated, drag and drop. It's amazing. But the real big feature, which we did have in the original Builder, but we had to re-engineer everything in order to bring it back, is the ability to import your own 3D models in GLB format. And that it's not a one or the other, it's hybrid, right? So the best thing you can do is build in the Builder tool with all our smart objects and all our procedural generation stuff. But you might just have that one 3D asset that you've got, or maybe it's your company logo or something you want to turn or whatever it is, and you'll be able to import that and integrate that into your scene as well. Yeah. If you're a hardcore 3D designer and you want to do everything in Blender,
sky's the limit.
No problem. Yeah. Do that. And as long as it meets the guidelines in terms of poly counts and stuff like that, bring it in. So that feature is the real game changer, because you then have the best of both worlds. So roofs and importing 3D models, we hope we may get that pushed next week. We'll see. Awesome. It's a bit close to Christmas.
Two massive updates. Yeah. And of course, one thing we haven't really spoken about is the fact that, you know, you've got two incredible applications here that you need to release to the public. You need another application to do that. So the launcher, when we first released the Playground, was a single application launcher, right? You had this application that would just let you go into the Playground. But then now you've got an application for two applications. The launcher has changed from a single application to a multi-application, hasn't it?
Yeah. So these are the things that, you know, anybody who builds games will understand, but those that don't might just, you know, gloss over. And to be honest with you, if you're just building a single game and it's non-Web3, then it's fine, release it on Steam. But for us Web3 crypto folks, not an option. No. And obviously Epic game stores out there, but you know, sometimes an option, sometimes not. So you have to build the whole ability to be able to push your own game via a launcher system of your own. And that's, I won't get into the tech, but there's an enormous amount of work that goes into just building a launcher that installs well, that can then bring down your game. And then the most important thing is, because we're building in public, we have to patch the game frequently. And you don't want people to have to download gigabytes of data every time.
Yeah, that's true.
We've just done a small change to the game, you know. And so we had to build a launcher that accommodates for all of that. So it can actually go, you're on version 1.07. We're going to just take you to 1.08 with this small iterative patch it all together, relaunch it. So that was a lot of work just to get to that phase. And that's not even the game. Yeah. It's not even the experience, you know. So launcher was a big thing, but these are the things you have to push through to get stuff out and onto people's machines.
For sure.
Yeah.
So if you guys don't know, the launch is already out. You guys can jump into the Playground and use the Pavia Studio Builder tool right now. Head over to pavia.io, download it. Don't stop. Don't wait. Get in there.
Exactly. It's on pavia.io/pavia_launcher or something like that, I think it is.
But there we go, yeah.
It's obvious. It's on the website. So, yeah, PC only at the moment, but it's there.
Yeah. So launcher, Playground, Builder tool. We also had our Cube event within the Playground too, which was a special event which kind of showcased a little bit about, you know, some of the things that we can introduce to the Playground, make it a little bit different, right?
Yeah. We always love the idea of takeover events in Pavia, be it by district across the whole map. So the Cube was like a takeover event, and it was kind of tied in with the launch of Mechs and Pavs and the evolution of Pavs and stuff like that. But it was really our chance to show off, like, one day you're in this lovely sunny Pavia, and then the next day you come and you go, whoa, what the heck is this? Yeah. And so we took the whole thing over, dark green skies, giant cube flying over the sea, you know, moody rain, creepy music, and also a really difficult, again, you had a heavy involvement in this, obstacle course effectively, to get to the top of the cube.
They still managed to do it. You guys surprised me every time. I spent so long trying to make it hard and people flew through it. So I've been beaten again.
So we loved the cube event, and it was just a really great way to, like, lead us into the Mechs, lead us into the evolution of Pavs, but also demonstrate a takeover. And takeovers are something that we talk about a lot in terms of, brands coming in and stuff like that. How easy is it for us to modify a good chunk of the Pavia map for a certain event?
Right. Yeah. It's about showcasing what the playground can do.
100%.
And it's also about involving the community, right? Community has been a big part of everything we've done in 2023, including, some of the summits that we went to. I know you went to Dubai.
Yeah.
I went to London. It was great to meet some people there and have people ask questions. So definitely something we want to visit next year again, I think. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Yeah, Summit was great. Cardano, you could talk about London. Cardano Summit in Dubai was just fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And there is no doubt that the Cardano ecosystem is buzzing and alive. And it's good to see a lot of the same faces there year in, year out, working hard, all through the bear market, doing their best to push product out, innovate. It's a tough space. Everybody in this space is doing something brand new. So it's a world of innovation. It's not like going to a conference where there's lots of tried and tested business models. You go into a conference where everybody is trying to do something completely new and seeing if they can get it to work. And that's what, the Cardano Summit feels like. But the vibrancy around that community is second to none. And I always have a chuckle to myself on Twitter. I know Twitter polls, they're a bit of a joke, really. But if there's ever a poll, no one's ever going to beat Cardano.
No.
It's impossible now, I think, because the community just do it for grins, I think. But
they're brilliant.
The passion's there. So, and that was really evident at the Cardano Summit in Dubai, for sure.
Very inspiring, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're absolutely incredible. That leads us on to probably our biggest part of the last quarter is Mechs.
Yep.
Not too long ago we had our Mech Mint, which was incredible. And then just recently we've started adding in, if you guys were in the playground last night, for our meetup, is Mech ability. So each Mech has a different ability that is a game changer in terms of movement, isn't it? Right.
Yeah, 100%. So Mechs, without going over the whole project again, but it was an enormous amount of work to build the highest quality NFT digital collectibles we could possibly do in the form of interchangeable mech parts to enable you to build a mech. And we have all different classes and all different skin types and all different things wrapped around them. And our goal was that it's something that you could mint in a crate, open the crate, see what you got. It will be a mech, but it will be made of hybrid parts and bits and pieces. Pull it together, start to understand the ecosystem, see how you wanted to assemble your mech, what you wanted to collect, so on and so forth. Build the whole thing in web, online, in a browser, configure it, save it, and find its way all the way down to the game. Whereas when you log into the game, you are there with your pre-configured mechs, whichever, and you can make multiple different versions of them and then get into the game. And that was the goal, and we achieved that goal really, really well. And honestly, everybody that's bought a crate and got into the mech ecosystem, I haven't heard a single complaint.
They love it. Yeah, it's amazing.
They just keep saying the quality is fantastic, the thought that's gone into it. So we achieved that goal without a shadow of a doubt, and it's still live. So let's not forget that. You can get a crate now. Just go to pavs.io. You can still get a crate, get involved, see what you've got. There are 100% are mechs that have not been discovered.
Some good ones too.
Some very good ones. So they're all out there waiting to be minted or unboxed. And so I think once people really start to understand the ecosystem, that is fantastic. So we're really, really happy with that. And then, like Pavia do, delivering on our promises, we've just released
special mech abilities.
So these are unlocked in the game only when you've collected matching parts, which is the initial idea, and that's gone really, really well. So you have to, whether it's a recon or whether it's a reactor or a defender, once you've matched all the parts, not the skins, just the parts, you have a finished class, and then that immediately unlocks a special ability within Pavia. So if you have a Subterra and you match all the parts, this dude can now burrow underground. Couldn't do it before, and move around burrowing underground. If you have a reactor, wow, then you can literally charge yourself up and go flying through the sky. But you got to match the parts, and so we're trying different ideas. We don't want to preclude people who actually like the hybrid look because they like the mix and match, and that's good. So we have to think about things for those guys as well. But this just makes the whole ecosystem a lot more interesting, and all that is working. In fact, we did it last night.
Yeah, it was great fun.
And big shout out to all the people that came into the playground last night. They're hardcore supporters of Pavia. You know who you are, and just fantastic people. It's great social meetup.
It was a great meetup, wasn't
Really,
it? Yeah.
really good. And it's just nice to feel the warmth from the community and the support that they've given us so far. So yeah, love it. So Mechs has been fantastic, and it won't stop there. So it will evolve.
Yeah, awesome. Lots planned. Lots going on in 2024 too. Lastly, on my list, I have our Metagravity partnership. Now, this is something that I think a lot of people may not know about or may not have seen, but it's actually incredibly important to the project, isn't it?
Yeah. So this is a big piece of work which is going on behind the scenes. We obviously announced it. Metagravity announced it as well. Pavia is one of the first selected metaverses to work with these guys. I've known them for quite a while, but this endeavor that they're undertaking with Metagravity is something very, very special. And there are a lot of people out there trying to solve the problem of how do you get thousands or tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of people in the same world at the same time.
Yeah.
And a lot of these experiments have happened over the last few years around games and stuff, and the jury's out about whether thousands of people in a video game as such actually adds a lot of benefit, or at least someone hasn't kind of nailed the genre of where it really works. But if you think about user-generated worlds, large metaverse virtual worlds, then this 100% is a use case for that. But I could tell you, without getting into the technicalities of it, it is one of the hardest problems to solve, and no one's ever really solved it well. And my bet is on Metagravity, and that's why we've partnered with them. And literally this afternoon, I've got a meeting with them where I may well see busy. Potentially a heck of a lot of players, obviously simulated, but running around the playground.
You're right, and it is an incredibly important thing that we
massive
problem
milestone
that we need to solve, isn't it?
But, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's different ways of doing it, but this is the way to do it. And so this is an area where Pavia has taken a bold step and headed towards like large innovation, to get many people in the world at the same time. So yeah, we're super excited about that, and should have something to show quite soon, hopefully.
Yeah, nice.
Yes.
Yeah, there is obviously a lot going on behind the scene, and this is probably the part of the podcast that makes me most nervous, because Paul's about to probably give something away that I'm going to have to calm everyone down about. But there is a lot going on behind the scenes that we also don't share. As much as we like making things public and keeping you guys in the loop, there are things that are quite big that we work on behind the scenes. So I just wanted to kind of touch on that and just let people know that there is other stuff going on too.
Yeah. So there's stuff that we've been working on for weeks or even months in some cases, which haven't made it out there yet, and are on their way. Examples of this are, and some of them might make the grade and some of them might not.
Here we go.
So player parkour in a user-generated world is something that we've been doing a lot of experiments with. Not easy to do well. A lot easier to do when you have a permanently fixed, non-changing world.
Yeah.
That's how most parkour games are done. But when you have a world that's changing all the time and you don't know what's going to be in it, it's quite a lot harder. So you have to go down a lot of procedural and physics-based routes. I won't bore you with it. But anyway, we think it would be fun because we learned that people love to climb. So parkour is one of those things. What else is on your list? I can't remember.
Mini games.
Yeah.
Big one, mini games.
Yeah, so early. But there is a subsystem, minigame subsystem. It's actually built under the playground right now. Yeah, people just don't know it's there. So more work to be done on that. But this is the idea of effectively you're anywhere in Pavia, you're walking around, you've got a group of mates, and you go, hey, just like you might do in the real world.
Yeah.
Do you fancy a game of blah, whatever? And then you literally play that game in world where you're stood.
There and then,
or in that district or area. So that's something we've been working on as well.
And of course, a data-driven playground too.
Yeah, exactly. So
explain what that is.
What that is the non-sexy stuff, but very exciting to me. So as the playground starts to slowly adopt more and more of the tech that drives the main experience, one of the ones is the environment itself, the roads, the trees, the benches, everything that's not a plot needs to be effectively rendered and drawn by data.
Yes.
So most games, ordinarily, that environment is hard-coded, it's baked into the game, and it just is how it is. And if you wanted to ever change it, then you'd have to patch the whole game. Pavia's not like that because the sheer size of it, and also the fact that we always wanted the environment to be dynamic, and our goal has always been to see whether the environment can morph based on land ownership on the chain.
Yeah.
So the only way to do that is to have a data-driven environment, which means the roads and everything else actually have to be constructed on the fly based on data under the hood. That's
Yeah.
let's keep it like that. And so the playground as it stands today isn't like that. The roads are hard coded, just like a normal game, but we're very, very close to have it being entirely data driven. So that is,
It's incredibly
there's weeks of
important,
work
yeah.
just in that alone.
It's important for the full launch, isn't it? Yeah,
It's
for
100%.
sure.
Yeah, for a dynamic world that can be changed, live services style is essential. Yeah.
And of course, we might see our first brand takeover in 2024. Is that something that can happen?
Yeah. Yep. So can't say too much about it, but not so much a brand takeover, but we will, for the first time in Pavia, we'll be hopefully featuring a global brand that everybody knows.
Nice.
Featured inside the playground as part of a metaverse strategy of theirs, cross-chain metaverse strategy. And from Cardano's perspective, we were the chosen ones.
There we go.
But yeah, more to reveal on that first quarter of next year.
Yeah, very on the down low. And then just lastly, those things that we call footballs, those little paths.
Oh yeah.
They're also evolving in 2024 too, and you'll see on screen right now there's a little teaser, and we can't say too much, but this year Pavs saw, a brand new website, some exciting lore, and of course some more abilities and utility to go with the Mechs as well. But they're having a little comeback again in 2024. They're not done yet, are they?
No way. They're just getting going. So as you know, Pavs runs in parallel with the whole Pavia universe thing. And we've always said we'd be cross-chain, and we will definitely be cross-chain next year. And Pavs will probably be our first serious endeavor into that.
Wow.
And anybody who went to the Cube event, if they were paying attention and they made it to the top, there was a big old heavy hint up there about less than friendly Pav.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah.
Or a bunch of Pavs, or a bunch of Mechs, or whatever, that may be coming relatively soon.
Yeah.
So we're really, really keen to build out. We love it. People seem to love the Pavs, and we're super passionate about them, and especially the Mechs as well, and their utility in game. And as part of our sort of broader chain strategy, they will play a key role. So watch out for that. 2023
was busy, but 2024 has some surprises up its sleeve as well. Just lastly, I think Paul and I both want to thank everyone in the community for their incredible support over the year. We know that this project has been going on for 2 years.
2
now.
years, yeah.
And it's a constantly evolving project, and we just want to say we appreciate every single one of you. We would not be here without you, your feedback, everyone in the Discord, on Twitter, YouTube, all on the socials. We love you guys. Please don't stop doing what you're doing.
100%. I couldn't agree more. It feels like everybody's gone through this bear market together, whether you're a project owner or whether you're just someone out there who's, enjoying the whole NFT crypto scene, enjoying it in the bear market. It really felt like there's a hardcore element of lovers of the Pavia project that have just been there all the way through. And they show up week in, week out in the Discord, they show up on Twitter, and they show up in the playground. And I hope that group can grow and grow and grow. But to those people and all the people that have ever invested in Pavia, big, massive thank you, because it's a big project, and we need those people around to spread the word and keep believing in it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's all from me. That's all from Paul, and we'll see you in 2024.